Oh my goodness, and here I am swerving again, for a good reason, and it is partially my fault for not reading, let's just say terms as we get Yogatag Eldritch Parasite with random item stats, but, yeah, for the sake of timestamps, so I'm not speaking into the timestamps, oh boy, Little Kitten's intro and like 50% of the whole game is complete, it's just the rest of it is, yeah, I ran into an issue. So yeah, definitely Eldritch Parasite. I think we're on Kathak. I'm going absolutely insane. I feel like it was someone else, but we're just gonna say Kathak for now. I'm pretty sure it wasn't Kathak, but as we get into, I think it was actually I'm just gonna guess. As we get into Yogatag Eldritch Parasite random item stats custom character, 4 strength, 5 dexterity, 6 perception, 8 knowledge, and 6 charisma. Oh man, this is a busy week for me, and it's gonna be a busy 2 weeks as we move up to Halloween. Now, whether I do everything I want to or not is a different story. Knowledge, strength, second encounter, charisma, second mystery, and maybe dexterity check? Maybe every single stat check? Definitely no Takushi-san though, but it doesn't matter because we're gonna go for our favorite. It's been a while since we got Eldritch Parasite, really, but History Club stuff. But yeah. For anyone who doesn't know, just to explain it for 15 seconds, we essentially re-roll for a certain spell, or 2 spells. If we don't get 2, it's fine with just 1. They are Mind Drain or Ghostly Spear. Getting both would be preferred though, because it essentially gives me more ammunition. Ward, Painting, Mermaids, Shibas, and Auteur. But we're going to do a quick check for anything else, because if we can get Feet, Piano, or Orphan, that would be nice. But instead we get Auteur and Shibas. So, Mermaids, Painting, and Ward on top, but we're gonna save Ward for later because otherwise it's gonna be painful. We'll take Shibas now. We don't have to fight this boss, it's just that I want to take Shibas now. So, off into the History Club we go, where we go gambling. So listen, I mean, we can get to the topic of this video. Not that I had any notes, I just remembered it. I meant to put it down as notes, but essentially, I don't need to go gambling in real life when I have more than a few video games, in which I can just gamble in the game in a different way. Now, it's not the kind of gambling that has flashy lights and sound effects, which it does a lot for the human brain, if we're talking science here. What is it? Not psychological, but it certainly plays an effect. We'll do a few more rerolls. So if we can get Mind Drain, we are nearly untouchable for things. But we didn't, so off we go. So we don't spend too much time. School, max threat level, high forest, and max hospital, in which we do have Ward. So we're going to police station the hospital. But right after that, we're gonna... Oh, these sell for 0 funds. Never mind. What about the lucky earrings? These sell for funds. But the unfortunate part is I don't know how much the thing is going to cost, so we're going to grab ourselves some insomnia while looking for the hospital pass. 1 fund. Well, it's normally 2, but random item stats can make it 1. I think that's the first time I've ever seen it at 1 funds, maybe ever, but that is theoretically possible based on how I understand. For those who don't know, quick 15-second explanation. Random item stats can fluctuate cost and damage by 1. So something that was 2 funds can now cost 1 fund or 3 funds to buy. And the same theory applies to things like, say, the Monkey Wrench is 4 funds. I don't remember how much. On Harbinger, now it's 5 funds, or it could be 3 funds. But anyways, we get into our first encounter. Time to Ghostly Spear. We don't have a weapon, it would be nice, but Ghostly Spear will perform just as well here. Now, unfortunately, we don't get a free brace, but brace to a kick, but again, it doesn't really matter. In fact, I should probably just go for 90-90, a kick 90 at 90% 3 times, because even if we miss, we kind of go positive. Although, yeah, it would be nice to not lose the stamina. Still, though, at some point I do have to get rid of the stamina, so hey, but we'll just skip this, because I'm sure passing could give you something, but most of the times it's due, if I can recall, so shrug. I think this is stamina. Nope, it's reason. Never mind. Never mind. We could fight this boss if we wanted to, but it would make our run a lot less consistent, so yeah, I don't even remember how much experience this boss gives you, but unless it gives you 30, it's not worth it. Now, in my mind, at a certain point in World of Horror, I did think that, as we take Ward here, I did think that 1 experience per 1 HP that a boss has is how I kind of considered it, but here in World of Horror, that's actually, you would actually go negative. I think this was before Harbinger became a thing. That's all I have to say. Because before Harbinger, you didn't really need to worry about because the damage increase on Harbinger at base is a very important threshold for calculating things, and so that includes my previous calculation of, oh hey, I can afford to, if I get like 30 experience from a 30 or 34 HP boss, that's worth it, and now it's not. So that's all I'm trying to say. But yeah, I don't need to go gambling when we have perfect gambling here, or I could just roll dice in real life or flip a coin in real life, and I get just as much of the, what do we want to say? Not the biological rush, we'll just say, but I get enough excitement from this. I don't know about you. Obviously, every human being is different, although more or less may, feel the same way as another, or not feel the same way as another person. But from what I feel, if nothing else, although I think there's some logic in it as well. Again, with video games, I don't need to go to the casino. Now, again, I'm not saying that, gambling is good or bad. If it's legal where you live and someone decides to do it, I'm not really going to say anything. Just make sure it's legal, of course. But aside from that, I mean, I do have my personal experiences with, let's just say, people who gamble, and I'm not going to say whether it's someone I know or maybe I've observed an acquaintance that I've known, but anywho, I could handcuff this at this point. I might as well. I'm not going to even take the risk. I could go for an improvise. So usually if you have the hand-eye coordination, you should improvise and try to use the handcuffs. The problem with that, I think, in some cases, or usually for spells, but what ends up happening, we'll take fast forward so we can do some stuff, is that the UI may switch on you because it tries to drag you into a screen, and then you have to quickly switch back to the inventory screen if you're taken off of it to use the handcuffs, which makes using handcuff tech a bit trickier in those instances. But if you can do it optimally, you will get more out of improvising, if just a little bit of damage. Although I find that that little bit of damage, 3 damage really, is kind of important. But if you have Fast Swimmer, though, it's definitely really important. I don't want to take any more reasons, so we are just going to Ghostly Spear for a moment. I actually should have Midasu touched first before Ghostly Spear. Because if we're going to lose stamina, we might as well spend max stamina. Period. That's all I have to say. Now, yes, we do have Fast Swimmer, but really, if we had a weapon, it would be a lot nicer. That's all I'm trying to say. Yeah, and because there are no side quests, when you hover over Yogatag here, Yogatag just disappears, because it's supposed to show a side quest, but obviously custom content, or custom mysteries, don't currently have side quests as one would expect. So yeah, you want to fail the first check here, but then you want to look to try and, succeed checks afterward. Is the general flow of Auteur, this mystery. At this point, we should just grab a pack of cigarettes, or I could grab a weapon. Let's visit the legal den again. And army knife time. That's a 6 damage army knife for 6 funds. If we run into out of funds, we'll trade off stamina, funny enough. But that's only if we can get to it. We'll eat up, and you fail and heal 1 stamina, 1 reason. Nice to know. That's the reason I took that check. Because even if the middle one I knew I could heal, I might as well just gamble on the other one. If we had lost reason, it would have been really, really bad. But as I pass, no matter what my knowledge was, because of the low roll there. Hey, and then we take burns, but we shouldn't really be taking damage anyway. If we can get extra funds, I will take care of it. But for the moment, I think this is trade-off stamina. Yeah, trade-off stamina. Now, our stamina and reason are dropping quite low, but it's just what we have to deal with here. So we get a ritual robe. Might as well equip it. We're not doing anything else with slot C at the moment. And we hope that we don't spend too much Doom here. Because having to worry about Doom as well would really, really be bad. Now, although I think we took like 9 Doom so far. So boy, oh boy. Deduction, charisma. We do have every single stat check. So you know what? For the sake of surviving reason-wise, we will increase our charisma. But as for this boss, Ghostly Spear time. I wonder what one would suspect the max stamina would be in the lore of World of Horror when you're using Ghostly Spear or something, but hey. I think we can prep attack with Fast Swimmer. Yeah, we can. Whee! I think we could have even taken a risk to prevent one extra use of Ghostly Spear, but it's fine. As long as we survive. Painting into mermaids, in which we take extra burns. In fact, we still have burns here, but again, we're relying on Ghostly Spear to get us through things. Period. That's the end of the sentence. But anywho, yeah, so we will trade this Jar of Blood. Could have traded Doom as well. So the indirect comparison there is that, yes, on Eldritch Parasite you can't heal, but essentially spending 5 Doom there, or 4 Doom in this custom event version, is essentially like resting in a sense. In fact, maybe better, because 5 Doom instead of taking 3 Stamina or 3 Reason. While it's not great Doom-wise, again, on an Eldritch Parasite run, you're worried about not being able to... You're worried about using Ghostly Spear too many times, or Mind Drain. But if you have both, though, that's probably not going to ever happen, unless you're going enemy crazy. But as we grab this flashlight here, now we have a light source and 8 charisma, if we need it. I don't remember if we have the light check, but if we don't have Toxisan, chances are high. Oh, that's a free curse. Well, hey. Could fight the boss if I wanted to. But again, for consistency's sake, yeah. I am a little bit tired at the moment. Pray to the Heart, lose 3 Doom, but get Mind Wipe, which we might not want. But I don't really want to spend... Okay, so I messed it up. I was supposed to keep following Amy, but since we're losing 6 stamina, Ichiro-san here is getting the Ghostly Spears left, right, and center. In fact, I probably have enough to even do more, but I think we can just prep attack our way out. Joke's on you, eyeless man. But anywho. So, grab extra experience and into our last mystery with 62% Doom. But in another way, we can consider it as we just started the run. But, so we can't take care of 1 burns, not that it matters. Because 1, we don't have Toxisan, so we don't have to worry about him. But the other side of that is getting rid of burns early right now. This first burns that we got before mermaids would help with any police encounters. Or not police, little encounters, because boy would those be painful. We also don't need to put the school police patrols in the school, because we're only going to be in here for a hot moment. In fact, we want to take Reason if possible, but we just passed that check. So yeah. Wait, is this? Oh, maybe we have 2 school investigations. We would have just broken even at this point if we visited the police station. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Actually, this is Mermaid, so we are visiting the school a lot of times. I'm going absolutely insane. Well, now we break even, but for some reason I thought I was in Sailors. I was not. So yeah, we do want to keep it decreasing Reason, because now we know that we pass both lighthouse checks that would reduce Reason by 5 total. As for Stamina, though, you can take up to 9 Stamina total. Now, we have 8 Knowledge, so really it's 6, but you get where I'm trying to get. So we have Insmasu Luck, might as well use it. And off we go. So, unless a freak accident happens, I should be able to survive this lighthouse. Keep in mind, we kept Mind Wipe with us the whole way, so hey, but to avoid oofing myself in reverse, let's just take every step we can as soon as possible. Painkiller is useless because we can't heal, but hey. And this is what I mean by RNG. I don't need to go gambling, because maybe runs are nice and they give me, you know, keeping in mind that I did do a few extra rerolls in the History Club, so really I only had 11 Doom, but RNG can sometimes say, oh, it takes you 25% Doom to even find something that you want. I don't remember my second encounter, by the way. It was an Auteur. I think it was the Glute Code. Nope, I'm going crazy. Well, but yeah, there's already enough RNG in World of Horror alone. There are a couple of others in other games I'm playing, so I feel perfectly fine. So, I think we took Shiva's first, Ward's second, I believe. And off we go. So without taking too much more of your time, if you have anything to say, if you want to support me, you know what to do. Otherwise, as I just said, I don't want to take up much more of your time. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!